8, episode 8. We are finally here. We have now officially passed the halfway point for the Grandmasters season 5, whatever you want to call it. And tonight, as you can see by my background, the world's most famous mouse. I'll leave it at that one. Of course, the Disney build was tonight, and like each and every other night, we have my man Henry. What's up, Henry? And of course, everybody's favorite stoner, Bilsy.
Bro, that looks so much like you. It's uncanny. Seriously, that was like
believable. Hey boys, how are we?
Hi, man.
We are good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Good evening, chat.
Happy Disney Day.
Happy Disney Day indeed. And what an interesting start to tonight's challenge. And I liked it. Straight up laying down the law, no movement.
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked that he restricted movement.
Yeah, was good.
Now, whether that was to disadvantage a better team to come to the lesser, you know what I mean? Like, did it bring it more in one, or was it more, we want to kind of build and focus on the Disney, on the story, and that's why we've gone this way? Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's a few ways you can look at it, and I love putting the conspiracy theory hat on, and that's just the way I like to roll. You know what I mean? So, I
hit me with it, son. Hit us with it, son. Hit us with your conspiracy. Hit us.
Hey, Brent.
Well, going by the last episode, a few people struggled on mechanical goods, where others actually was blowing out of the water. You're coming into a Disney build. Oh, sorry. Where'd you finish? That's right. Coming into the Disney build, I guess you could look at it that way, or you could look at it like pure. And this is the way I'm going to take it. The better side of the story is, let's focus 100% on the story, on the Disney, what you're going to do with the bricks, and not all the fluff around what the bricks are doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I've got a better theory.
Here we go.
Ooh.
There was no motors. We chewed them all up in the last one. We had the high wire one, we had the up it goes one, and we had the GBC. We thrashed all the battery boxes, man. They're all being used, and the builds are probably still being photographed.
Very good point. Very, very, very good point.
Yep.
Probably the truth, inside knowledge, but good point.
That's my theory. I actually don't know for sure, but that's my theory. Why else wouldn't you? Why else wouldn't you?
Like, because pure, and I just seen in the chat then, it could have been a behind-the-scenes handshake. Disney just wanted Lego builds.
True. That's very true as well.
Or it could be no motors because they're all in Henry and Sarah's pockets.
Well, if you actually think about it, there was also very minimal Technic use. So maybe there could have been, a whole, we're leaning in, we just want 95% bricks. Use Technic if you need it for a framing or for whatever, but, make sure you skin it. So it could have been conspiracy theory, man. They're the best. I love them. And especially when it comes to reality TV.
100%, bro. Nothing's by accident. Nothing's by accident.
Definitely not. Nothing. Nothing.
You mean reality's not real?
What?
You mean reality TV's not real?
Well, it depends who you ask. Now, Bruce, I haven't seen Big Boom Boom Bruce in a long time, are you, brother?
Hi, Bruce.
Bruce, hey
everyone in the chat.
Yes, and hello everybody cruising into the chat too. Seen Helena, Brickspace, Lego Man's in there. All the regulars. Claire is up in there. Bundy Rum Dan. Glenn Davis is like, mate, good chat tonight. Absolutely love it. So let's talk Disney. They were restricted to choose the 6 that was up and around, as you can see around the room. You obviously had Peter Pan, Moana, Up, Fantasia, Toy Story, and Frozen. So, good mix. A good mix. Now, I mean, it might be a straightforward answer, but I don't know why they went Fantasia. But then again, it is the only Mickey cartoon, so maybe they needed that Mickey element in one of them somewhere.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. Like, there's not really, like, try and name it, right? Like, what's the actual Mickey movie? There really isn't one.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie. But even then, right? Like, for the flagship, like Mickey is the flagship character of Disney, and you can't really name a movie with him, right? Except Fantasia.
Besides Fantasia, no, he's never. I mean, TV shows he's had, like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and stuff, but movie-wise, no, he's always been the host or the supporter, not the main star.
Mickey was for the new castle. What do you mean, Josh? Give us some more context. What do you mean, Mickey for the new castle? You do know Mickey Mouse has nothing to do with any castles. Just saying, you're a Disney fan. I've been a Disney fan since I've had kids, but yes, Mickey has nothing to do with any castles, my brother. Kev, how are you, brother? Now, I mean, they weren't Disney's 6 most popular movies either.
No, it was a real mix of old and new. Very, very interesting mix.
What is the most inappropriate Disney movie that they didn't put in there?
Inappropriate?
Yeah.
Inappropriate.
Beauty
and the Beast, Snow White.
Oh, there's if you go back to Disney's back catalogue, there's some really freaky stuff that you'd find.
Yeah. Snow White would be way up there, the princess ones, the early princess ones for sure.
Yeah. But iconic ones, you've got things like The Lion King and stuff.
Hold on, Josh. Rumors for the castle point to that series of the cast. Oh, bro, that's Cinderella, man. That's not Mickey. That's Cinderella. That's Cinderella's castle.
Yes.
So, I did notice, and it was pretty funny. I think it was Scott might have said it. They're glad that there was no Lion King for Dave and Gus to build lions and animals. Mate, fair call. Fair, because they would have nailed that.
Or the old Robin Hood. I love that movie. The old Robin Hood with the fox and little.
Yeah.
I watched that the other day.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Yeah. And I noticed Helena just said too, Gabby and Ryan, about doing the Frozen with the point of the. And we'll talk. Actually, let's start with Ryan and Gabby. So we'll go there. Frozen. The Olaf got the nose scene. Now, if you've got kids or you've seen Frozen, you know exactly that moment. It is half iconic, but it's not Frozen iconic. It's not. Where's Elsa? Like, Elsa is Frozen.
Yeah, I know,
Why
right?
would you pick a scene with Elsa.
But that's good that they didn't do Elsa. They thought outside of the standard.
Conspiracy. They got told to.
But I mean, there's heaps of trans blue in the brick pit. Like you and I know, Bilsy, there's heaps of trans blue in the brick pit, unless you're building a Yeti. But there's heaps of there is heaps of trans blue in there.
Brent, we will get to your comment about Brickman's critique of Fantasia for sure. We're a bit heated about that one. We'll get to that. It was funny about them picking. I mean, really, when you do think when you do think Frozen, like Olaf is the snowman's a huge character. You're going to know who he is. He's very iconic, very quick look, and you can't fault that. I guess they picked well.
Anything with Anna, Olaf, or Elsa is Frozen, right? You can do anything. You can do anything.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, if you were to pick Frozen, what would your scene, if you had no restrictions, because we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, what would have you picked?
I would have done Prince Hans on his mobile phone going through Tinder and swiping for Elsa. 100%.
Bill?
I would have been. He would have been going into the DMs.
I can't actually.
Just don't worry about him. Just piss him off.
I can't comment. I've never seen Frozen. I would have done something with Olaf because that's the only character I know.
I would have done the ice monster. Because I can do monsters, big things like that. I would have done the ice monster, but that's not really Frozen. But it's
the
not
Yoo-hoo guy. That's Yoo-hoo.
Yeah. But it's not really Frozen, right? Like, there's probably more iconic scenes,
Well, ideally the scene where she literally lost her stuff in the ballroom and froze everything. You could do a big Elsa as in mid-freeze. Things
don't
from her
ruin the
hands.
movie for me.
Yeah, or the scene where she actually turns to ice, but that
Yes,
would have
and
been too hard to
saving
do. Yeah,
It
and
would've
saving
been
her.
mad
She
hard to
wouldn't
do. Yeah,
too
yeah.
hard. That would have been too hard to do.
Yoo-hoo. All right, we'll climb up now. Everybody's talking about it. This is obviously one of the heated ones. The Fantasia. Now, let's start first off with their first build. The boys were Conan Doyle 100% spoilers, and if you don't want them, see you later, alligator. But definitely, this is the thing, right? So I've been living on Reddit because the guys I love how raw and unfiltered Reddit is. Yeah, it gets a bit dirty and yuck sometimes, but I do like the realness because they got a point, right? Now, the boys were going to build that wave, literally the DVD cover of Fantasia. They were building the big Mickey, and the Mickey looks freaking amazing.
I would argue that the cliff is more iconic than the mops almost, right?
Yes, yeah, 100%. Most definitely. And then the thing, and this is leading back onto Reddit, someone wrote, why didn't Scotty and Owen stand their ground? They're like, and then the kind of reply threads like, yeah, they should have stood their ground. And then one person actually made the best comment of the night saying, if that was Kale standing his ground, you would have hated him. And I'm like, that's funny.
True.
That is true. That is funny and true.
It's true.
Aussie Louie, thank you, brother. But for Brickman to walk in and royally shaft them to rebuild from scratch, come on. That's he didn't make them. He obviously hinted towards them, and they're the kind of guys that will take that Brickman hint, read between the lines type thing. And like they didn't get top two, and we'll get to the top two eventually, but we said it last night, Owen and the speed that bloke can build.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Like,
it's impressive.
Yeah. And then the thing that kind of got me off guard again, and we're picking it up, and I can't wait till we get Brickman back on because we're going to talk. That, mate, using cheap bricks, cheap, what do you say? Cheap tricks. Cheap tricks. Yeah. Like, come on, man. You can't literally go up to them, rip off a few hours and go, do this now my way, and then go, look at them using cheap tricks. Man, you're the reason they're using the cheap tricks. Like, come on. That's a bit,
Cheap tricks is weird, right? Like, you can't, nothing's cheap. Nothing's a cheap trick on Lego Masters, right?
No.
It's a trick, and you've just got to use it at the appropriate time. Like, if you're pumped for time, you're going to do cheap stuff for sure. But the thing is, it's different when it's actually serves a purpose. Like, I mean, I didn't think it was cheap. I didn't think it was cheap. I just thought they would.
Here's a perfect example. Let's go back to, and I know no one's going to remember, maybe. Let's go back to my T-Rex build back when me and Cal got eliminated, right? We built a full volcano out of bricks because there was no burp pieces in the brick pit, or not enough.
There's heaps of burps now.
I've seen him in a few episodes, and you see him next episode. But using burps, 20 burps, or 4.5 kilos of 2x4s, mate, if the story is getting sold with the burps, who cares? You've sold that story. Call it a cheap trick, call it a whatever. Use 5x6 paneling to make a wall. Who cares?
The challenge is not build a mountain, right? The challenge is build an iconic Disney scene. Doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, exactly. You use cheap tricks for filling. As long as you've got the story or the centerpiece, this is where we got to build.
This is the thing, though, right? We got to actually understand that it might not have been 3.5 hours. That could have been an hour in. That could have been half an hour in.
It could have been 20 minutes. Yeah,
it could have been 20 minutes in, right? And Brickman saying that. So I don't want to jump
grain
on.
Of salt.
Yeah. Like I know that it sometimes looks like that. It might not be 3.5 hours. That could have just been dramatized, right?
Well, I mean, you nailed it last night with your behind the scenes scope.
Yeah.
Your 3-prong thing. They made it sell it like you were panicking towards the end, but you
literally 80% of the stuff you see in terms of timelines is incorrect on the show. That's what I would say.
It is what it is. I guess it's just kind of more of, let's take the glass half full approach. Brickman wanted a bigger, better story with multiple things going on instead of just the Mickey. So I get it. You know what I mean?
The other thing is, do you think, knowing how fast Owen builds, do you really think that's all he had in 3.5 hours?
Definitely not.
Bro,
Definitely
that's 3.5 minutes for Owen. You know what I mean? So to say that that's 3.5 hours and he had this big mountain, I call BS on that.
Yeah. Josh, you're right. Drama gets the views. Drama gets us talking. You know, we fall deep into it and we know out of anybody how it's edited. So it's good to kind of get heated about something we're passionate about. That's kind of what it is. But
what do you think of his final build? Sorry, go.
Yeah, no, go.
What do you think of Owen's final build though? Like how it turned out? Like, did you like the mops and the brooms?
Nailed it.
Yeah.
My chat's not on the screen. Oh, I can see it on my end.
Yeah,
can you guys see the chat in the corner?
No.
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I can.
I can. I don't know. I'll play with it for a second. Watch me break more stuff. All right, turn it off. Turn it back on. There you go. I just turn it back on. We'll see if it starts coming up now. We'll see how we go. All right. Well, because we're going to come back because we've got to compare their build, and I've got to. We'll come back to that. Caleb and Alex, Toy Story. Mad. Loved it.
Yeah,
absolutely
well.
Loved it. Like, you know, if Bruce, I can see it on my own. I don't know if anyone can see it. It's actually under me on the left-hand side of Henry coming up. I can see it. I don't know if you guys can, but no. Alex and Caleb absolutely freaking nailed it. The green monsters, the Woody, and you got to realize, like, you know, give credit to Caleb, where, you know, he's now at the point. The dude is at his peak, but he's winging it and getting through it. And this build was really, really good. From the Buzz being looking like Buzz, from the Woody, the eyes, you know, I genuinely liked their build tonight. It was really bloody good. And it sold exactly what it was. Claw machine out of Toy Story.
Yep. It was well done. Well done.
Yeah. Well done. Definitely tick the box.
100%.
Now, Andrew and Damien. How funny. It didn't even click until it was mentioned tonight. He genuinely is the dude from Up. Like, he is proper.
Wait, how did that not click? How?
No, because I've never put two and two together. Like, you know, I don't realize that you look like Big Bird. You know what I mean? I've never really thought of two people. Like, when am I ever going to be talking to Andrew and Damien and then all of a sudden, oh, yeah, you look like the old man from Up, you know, the movie my kids watched 6 months ago. I'm never going to think of every movie like, you know, oh, Henry, actually, that light Henry, you look like Tom Cruise. Very nice. Tom Cruise. You know, I never relate to kind of.
Mate. You were going to say Moana. That's what you were going to say. And then you held back.
I was. Yeah. All right, Maui. No, yeah, I mean, I think we have brought it up before, but when they put it side by side on the screen, like, it's so funnily close, you know. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and loved it.
How good was his house? How good was the house,
dude? I need to see if I can bring up the video without freezing my computer, because we need to check out. Now, I don't know if they mentioned it on air, but did they mention how they built the? Now, Bill, I know you did.
No, they didn't. No,
they didn't. Okay, so what I'm talking about, for those that didn't pick it up, do you remember? See if you can rewind back a few minutes ago to how they built the front of the green part of the house.
Yeah, the long green.
Let me just cancel the audio off this one. The house, the way they built it, the NPU, mate, next level.
It's off its head.
Brilliant.
So Josh said this house is so close to the actual build. I'm assuming the set. Bear in mind, this was filmed well before the set came out.
It's way bigger than the set as well, man.
It is bigger than the set. But, yeah, this is filmed way before.
I can't believe they didn't mention it.
No, me either, because it is the best NPU.
Here we go. Like, yeah. Look at that. Like, they are minifig legs.
Oh, that's
like,
very clever. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Next level, man. Minifig legs for the house. Yep. How do you think of that? Like, that's just insane. So
and the croissant eyebrows, the croissant, and he had a Unikitty tail for the little fringe. Very clever.
Yeah.
Boys did absolutely friggin'
And
amazing.
the Xbox controller for the bow tie.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't even see that.
Yes. Here we go.
Filled with MPU, man. How are we not even talking about this build more?
Exactly. They did well.
I just wait for it to come back. I
And
got
now he's
copyright
got a
stung again
sig
last night too. What?
Now he's got a sig fig.
Here we go. Yeah. How's that? Who thinks of an X-ray controller as a bow tie? But it works so well. It blends in. You didn't even realize till you told. I didn't even realize, Bill, till you said something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the minifig legs. It was the minifig legs for me. Bloody brilliant. So good. And even at the bottom of the build, they've got the mud and it lifting out of the ground and the grass and the picket
how
fence.
is that not even talked about? How is that not even talked about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Absolutely amazing. I think so. There you go. We'll talk about that in a sec. I just seen because there we go. There, like, well done. Like even the whole base plate, the rockets on the base plate as itself, like they didn't skip, and it's just that was I like that.
They did awesome. The only thing I think you could pick on is Buzz's face is a little bit funny, but like Woody's they've nailed. But the fact is that you can instantly tell it's Buzz. They did their job.
Yeah, the colors,
Yeah.
right? You associate the colors.
Yeah, like Woody's face is just perfect.
It's why? Because they got very, very lucky with those eyes. Those eyes make it perfect.
They do.
It's also in Caleb's wheelhouse, in my opinion. Like, and that's not it's not meant to be anything disrespectful. It's just that, like, for me, I couldn't capture his face like that because my brain just doesn't think like that. I would struggle like with doing that because I try to make it super complex or something like that. Whereas Caleb just lent into exactly what he knew he had to do. It's very clever.
Yeah.
And then again, you got this, then you've got the boys with the up house still at, very, very deserving. Mate, there's so many, you can't pick top two out of these. These are all really, really bloody good. So for a Disney episode and selling the story, they definitely, nailed the challenge and the point for everybody's build. Now, mate,
it's off his head.
It's a car, like sick, next level, insane, like really, really good.
Do you know what? I've got a question about this, Bilsy, though, right? You know how they originally had the Moana doll, the mini doll, right?
Yep.
You and I know that there's no licensed stuff in the normal brick pit, right? Like there's there's no licensed figs in the brick pit, right? So they had the custom Disney minifig wall, right?
Yep.
They obviously got the mini doll from the Disney wall. Why are they not allowed to use it? It's actually more in scale with the Takar, you know what I mean?
You know what? And look, Brent said here, the doll's much more scale for the film, though the brick built one is more impressive. And that's kind of exactly this is where Joss and Henry should already know, and 100%, we've brought this up a few times. He literally says, "Oh, look, Helena, they got the Moana mini dolls for me. No one cares, mate. You should sell them anyway. The pieces of shit." Now, what they are, no one collects Disney, mate. No one collects Disney.
Well, they do because obviously they had to go to Snowlana to get the figs.
Yes, because they're old.
Ah.
But no. So going back to it, no. And Helena, credit to Helena, people. They're all hers. Got to give her credit there. Now, if you look at this photo, it still sells the whole Moana thing. But if you had the minifig, it sells the scale and proportion much, much better. But, and as I said, we've mentioned it a few times, Joss shot himself in the foot. How quick did he build the Takar?
Yeah.
He built that quick. And them waves, brick-built waves, that's not going to take you 8 hours, 10 hours to build. They shot themselves in the foot by Brickman straight away could pick that they were going to have nothing to do for majority of the build. So that's why he's gone in and thrown that spanner in the works. If they played that game right, did it different, did it slowly build it, then put Moana at their end, that story would still sell the exact same without the brick-built Moana.
True.
I guarantee that's all it's come down to, man. I agree with you. The minifig would have worked 10 times better.
If you took Moana out, though, you've just got Black Jesus parting the sea. He needs flames. I think
No, don't backtrack now, bro. Go down that path. Go down the path. Tell us more about Black Jesus parting the sea. Do it.
Yeah. Well, it's 2023. You never know.
No, I googled it. I googled it, Bill. He actually the Takar only has flames on his head, not on the body.
Okay, so he needs flames on his head.
It's 2023. Did you just assume Takar's gender? Like, seriously, like, this is out of control, man. Like,
yeah, it was Moses at part of it.
Bilsy's like,
So from now on, it's only going to be the Bilsy stream because I've got these larrikins trying to cancel me. Apologize for that, you know. I forgot Bilsy had the button. Oh. Back to the Lego build. You can't fault it. They did bloody well. Like, it looks exactly as it should have. You know, it's a brilliant build. Brilliant bloody build. And like even there, when you look at, you know, the camera angles and the magic of what the guys know, and you know, all the cameramen and the editors and producers, like, it looks sick.
It does.
It looks good.
yeah, it's mad.
Even
I'm not a fan of the Moana, though. I'm not a fan of the Moana. I don't know. I'm just Joss and Henry, like, dear friends. I love them to death. I don't like.
You know what though,
snapping
man?
the two plates together. I don't know.
I'm trying to think to Legoland. Now, some people in the chat will know better than us. Isn't that how Legoland figs are built?
Yeah, pretty.
Miniland, the Miniland fig.
The Miniland stuff, yeah.
Miniland figs, pretty similar size, yeah.
You know, so maybe, you know, you can't really knock it if that's what Lego are kind of building themselves in the Minilands. But yeah, again, great build, great story. The whole thing, it sells Moana. You ain't get mistaken with Snow White or something. And then of course we and you know, outside of the two main characters, the wave looks good. The whole base plate's filled. You know, job done, massive tick. And then we get into where are we going?
The look on Joss's face when Henry dropped Moana, though, was pretty funny.
All right, here we go.
This is off its head.
Yeah.
So this, and I'm torn on this one, man. Now,
Why?
So people, we have David on tomorrow night as well. I'm torn on this one in two ways. I'm Brickman torn, Brickman angry, because he is selling two stories, but you cannot fault what these guys have built. Like this whole Peter Pan setup. Like, there's no mistaking this build. The way
it's the best characters we've seen, man. It's one of the best characters we've seen on Lego Masters. Look at it.
100%. Like, there is nothing better than this. Like that hook is, mate. You know, I want to message Gus and buy it off him. It is insane.
Yeah, Hook is next level. Not quite sure about the Elf on the Shelf, but Hook is next level.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned this off air just slightly as a slight dig, but it's just, I'm kind of thinking you can't pick on Scotty and Owen's pillars when there's, you know what I mean? When these guys have, I get it. It's hard because the focus is the fight, not the ship. But the focus in Fantasia wasn't the background either.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
But when was the last time consistency in the judging was a thing?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Probably when you got eliminated.
Oh, snap. That's a good one.
No, and you know what? Like, deserved win. Like, above and beyond them all. Deserved win. Just so, like, have a go at it. It is so good. And then the more you look at it, the details, again, that, you know, that might have missed, they've been cut out of editing. Like the way the hat is, the way the sails are wrapped, you know, just bits and pieces. It's like, come on, man. How do you build such insane, like, goddamn, Gus, you know what you're doing, man. Very, very, very good, you know.
Very good.
And like, perfect. I do love it, and it sells the Peter Pan story. They all sold their own stories. Like no stories were half fudged, half fluffed.
Totally.
And for Peter Pan, if you're not doing the famous hook fight, what are you doing? The Lost Boys eating dinner, imaginary dinner. I guess that's
Or
kind of the other.
You're doing the scene where they first fly the kids out of the window.
Yeah, yep. But then you're building Peter Pan, you're building Wendy, you're building Tinkerbell. You've got that lineup, as well. So
I heard. I'll give you a bit of inside, guys. I heard they weren't allowed to do Tinkerbell going through the keyhole.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a scene in Peter Pan when Tinkerbell first comes into the kids' rooms, and she looks at her hips, and she thinks she can't fit through the keyhole, and that's like it's not a positive, sort of body image sort of thing now. So it's like wasn't allowed. Yeah, can't do it.
Fair enough, and like as every episode has been here.
Not that I would want to do that.
Well, not even that. It's God, Brent. Imagine if you were on here, mate. You would dead set get us cancelled. Like there's going to be briefing side. Can't do this. Can do this on every build. You know what I mean? Like you said, you can't do that scene. You can't do that scene. All right. So let's be serious. We talked about Frozen. Let's move into Fantasia. I've never seen Fantasia, but I know what the DVD cover looks like. So I would have built that wave if that was up to me. You boys?
I would have built the wave. I would have built the wave. I think the Mops is also just as iconic. Like it's equally as iconic.
It is.
But
in the movie, the mop scene goes for quite some time. Like it's a big part of the movie.
The only reason I think that he can say to the only reason I think that he might have said it to Owen and Scotty, and again, might have said it, is that there was already a wave build in the room with Moana. So maybe two wave builds, and not saying that Owen couldn't have done it. Man, the guy could do anything, but like maybe that's why, like from a photography point of view, can happen.
And to his credit, like he read between the lines and rebuilt what he built. Like, so it's friggin' amazing. How long does Brickman give feedback? Surely it isn't quick and shallow shown on TV. Pickle Chungus, it's not much longer. Like he doesn't sit there for half an hour giving everybody feedback. Like there's, a couple of sentences on what's good, a couple of sentences on what's bad, and move on.
They do try to get him around. Yeah.
You do, especially at the end, you are seeing pretty much what he tells you.
They do try to get him around quite quickly because, again, for that reason, like they don't want you to go off tangent. So you'll quickly wait for Brickman sort of, like critique at the start, and then he'll tell you you're on track or, man, you should change this. So I highly doubt that he came after 3.5 hours in Owen's build.
Yeah. All right, Toy Story. Now, Toy Story definitely has a few good like key moments. And Henry, no, you can't go for any of. Is it? What's the neighbor's kid's name?
Oh, Sid.
Sid. Yeah. You can't do any Sid moments. So, what would have you picked from Toy Story?
I think I would have done the. It would have been hard to do, but the iconic scene for me is when he's like flying, and he's like to infinity and beyond, like, and they're in the sky, and they're holding, he's holding Woody,
holding each other.
Like that's iconic, man.
That's Titanic. Next, Bilsy, what have you done?
I would have done Buzz holding on to Woody on the back of is it the Pizza Planet van or the moving van? Yeah.
Or the remote control car.
The remote control car is pretty cool. And the other one I think you could do something cool with. I don't know how iconic it would be, but where they use the slinky dog to pick.
Yeah, okay.
Reach down for someone out the window.
Yeah, very, very good. Something with the Pizza Planet or the dog using the slinky dog. We all know Steve Reynolds in Melbourne built the box.
Army Man,
soldiers, yeah. that's kind of, you'd have to go for the Woody and the Buzz. And do you go for the meeting on the bed scene? I think Caleb and Alex, the claw is pretty, like they're it's up there, top three
They
moments.
nailed it with the claw, absolutely.
Yeah.
For those
And
of you
how
who've
many-
never, sorry, go.
No, those of you what?
No, I was just going to say, there's a really funny Toy Story parody. You go into wherever, YouTube, wherever. If you type in Robot Chicken Toy Story parody,
Yeah.
you'll never watch the movie ever the same again. Have you seen it, Bilsy? What I'm talking about?
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like when Andy goes to college and he's still got Woody with him. It's pretty funny.
Anything from that whole team is
Yeah.
not yeah. Anything from Adult Swim. The whole claw and the little green dudes, the claw, pretty good. No, thanks for following. But what did Wallace say? I do the scene where Andy finds Brent Waller, my man, the one that keeps our chat PC correct. Up. There is no other scene, really, is there?
Nah, there's no other scene.
Like, you can pick and remember all the different parts of the movie, but there's no real other, straight away, bang, that's Up, balloons on a house. You can go down your street, if there's 50 balloons on someone's random house, it's all, it doesn't matter what it looks like. You're thinking of Up.
Yeah, there's no other scene. There is no other scene.
Now, Moana, I think there could have been a few different moments to pick out of Moana. Like, the Takar battle scene, that's kind of cool, and they did good. That sold that story. But you could have picked her on a wave with the chicken and Maui. You could have picked the big turtle tortoise dance underneath the ocean.
There's also a deleted scene where Maui's doing a drag race in his Blacktown Racing grey Datsun in Western Sydney. Like,
oh, far out. Or he's given the eyebrow to Stone Cold Steve Austin as well. There's that.
I'm pretty sure Maui plays for the Penrith Panthers. Like, he's in there.
Oh no, he'd be playing for the new team up here, the one that's full of the Samoans and Tongans and that, wouldn't he?
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, there's heaps of iconic scenes in Moana though when you think about it.
Moana's pretty good, yeah. Moana you can pick and choose.
Like, you can do like just a boat, like like literally with Moana in the, going out to sea, or Maui with his hook.
Well, you know what? If you think about it, you kind of nailed your point where you said with Scotty and Owen changing because there already was a wave, and it was the Moana water as well. But Peter Pan is the wave. Technically, Frozen's got the water. Like, there's a lot of water going on with Disney.
Yeah. Snow Lane is
mean?
right. Could have just built the crab. The crab's a good scene as well. When Maui's
The shiny
fighting the crab. Yeah, the shiny guy.
The big shiny crab. That's not iconic for the movie, though, I don't think. Good scene, not iconic.
Yeah.
You know what would have been cool if you built, and I don't know what kind of scene you would have, but if you built a big Maui with a hook, that would have been pretty wicked.
Yeah.
Like a big character.
Yeah.
That would have been good. Could have added Minions. Wrong company, brother. Minions ain't Disney. Just saying. Same with Mario.
DreamWorks.
Yeah, Illumination.
Yeah.
Maui with a hook and a half fish body. Oh yeah, when his thing was broken. See, I don't know if it's funny that we know all these movies, or it's kind of how much Disney do we watch?
Yeah,
it's for our kids, I promise.
Right.
Bilsy, you got no excuse yet.
No, I've got a Disney tragic daughter.
Good point. What did Glenn say? After the split screen of Andrew and Carl, a split screen of Maui and Henry. Don't give him that much credit. Come on,
bro. 100%.
Come
bro.
on. Don't be giving him that kind of credit. I'll see how quick I can be at Photoshop. Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm posting that later tonight. That's
Jumanji.
The what?
The Kevin Hart version of him out of Jumanji before they swapped.
Chris McBrook, can you imagine how expensive 101 Dalmatians would have been? I wouldn't mind getting Cruella's car. Hey, I dig that. Cruella's car would have been cool. All right, here's an open question, and chat, you can go nuts as well. Let's say there's no restriction on what Disney movie you pick. Bilsy, where are you going?
I would probably do something really classic like Dumbo. Yeah, something like that.
Not bad. Henry? What would have been your go-to Disney?
Oh.
So I think Disney, think Pixar.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
Snowlana said Inside Out. Okay.
Inside Out would be
That's
cool.
the
Actually,
worst
anything-
movie ever. I hate that
anything
movie.
with Wall-E and
Cinderella.
as well.
Bundy Rum Dan. Herbie the Love Bug. My man. Lindsay Lohan would have loved you, man. Snow White. Tron. Star
Tron?
Wars. Star Wars is out. No Star
Yeah,
Wars.
Tron's my jam.
Tron's cool. I would have picked Cars. I would have tried to do a Mater.
Or half a meter.
Yeah, Cars is not bad.
I would have picked Cars or Cinderella and the glass slipper or the pumpkin coach is pretty cool. Wall-E,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done Wall-E. Would have done Cars. Aladdin on a magic carpet. Now that would have looked cool.
Aladdin would be sick.
Aladdin and Jasmine on a magic carpet would look
Or,
awesome.
or a big brick-built genie.
Yeah, or all three. Frozen 2, the scene where she rides the ice horse across the ocean and goes in the cave to finds her new mum. Isn't that a Penrith story as well? Rides an ice horse across an ocean and finds a new mum. Beauty and the Beast, Beauty and the Beast would have been cool as characters. Yeah, there's so many that you could have, I guess, picked and built and would have worked, I guess. And that's probably why they forced that 6 to try and mix up, because if you get 6 people that are going to build characters straight away, they're going to be like Cinderella, Snow White, like they're just going to pick the popular,
Snow White,
Little Mermaid.
Snow White is not appropriate, I reckon.
What? Because the little people?
No, no, not because of the little people.
Why then?
Man, there's heaps of stuff around. Like Snow White's like passed out, and the dude's just kissing her. Like it's like there's like creepy undertones. They're like, yeah, nah.
Rapunzel would have been cool, building a tower with the princess with the hair.
We've done that though. It's been done. Like we've done that on one of the episodes. I'm pretty sure that we have. I'm pretty sure Andrew and Damien have even done it.
Okay.
And Trent and Josh have done Cinderella.
I don't remember the Cinderella.
Yeah, they've done the Cinderella castle. So I think, yeah.
Like I said, there's strategy behind the 6 they picked, and they picked a good mix. Yeah, there you go. Conan Doyle said they used bananas for the hair. There you go.
They couldn't remake Snow White with Bill Cosby. Brett, you are
Henry, with being off the show, do the contestants hang and stay behind the scenes? No, dude, we ushered out within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to stay. Jungle Book would have been cool.
Oh, yeah.
But again, we've already seen Henry on the show, so you don't need to build another Mowgli. You know what? I wonder how much. I think you're probably on the ball, man. I wonder how much thought went into the whole politically correct type of stories behind
bro,
each
there's
one.
There's heaps, man. It's 2023, bro. You can't do anything.
Too much
Yeah,
thought.
Snowlana, he's
You
thinking
can
he's
stream
thinking of
all
sleeping.
these on Disney Plus, so why can't you build them? Too much thought went into it.
No, I think Henry nailed it. I think they've picked those 6 because you can't pick a sus or too much of a sus scene or
Pocahontas,
wrong
right?
story. Or
imagine if you did Pocahontas. You're doing American Indians. Like it's pretty like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interesting. Wreck-It Ralph. Hey, there you go.
Wreck-It Ralph's a good one.
Hey, Rowan, tell us now. Last night was the GP beat the GPC, the Great Pinball Challenge contraptions. tell us what you thought about it, brother. So for those that don't know, Rowan that just jumped in the chat, he is one of GP. I was thinking of ping pong, not ball. I was going to Thailand, but I had to keep my tongue tied. Rowan, tell us, man, what did you think of that scene using ping pong balls instead of basketballs and normal little white balls and stuff like that? I'm interested to know. So for those that don't know, Rowan is one of Australia's best GBC builders.
Oh man, I can hear the GBC fanboys coming in hard, man. Going, bro. There was a funny thing, right? I was looking at some of the comments on the Lego Masters official Facebook page, right?
Yeah.
And like, there's all these comments about the how like all the GBC stuff, and there's one dude goes, "Do you want to join our GBC fan club or our GBC club page?" And I was almost going to comment like, "Get the fuck out of here, man!
Come on, man!
Come on, man!
I mean,
too soon. Nobody wants to see this shit." I hate GBCs. I hate them now.
Oh, because of that.
It's traumatizing, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, I still like T-Rexes. Ron probably nailed it. He said, definitely good using the bigger balls. Small ones aren't TV friendly. Yeah, bigger balls are always better for TV, for sure.
Bigger balls in general, right?
Yeah. It was a great workshop too. Oh, because Rowan did the workshop at Brickvention, didn't he? Goof Troop figs would be nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Don't forget Paulie Shaw fig from me. Piano was risky, but it worked. Okay. Conan Doodle, do you think they had any other reference material apart from the posters in the brick pit? I'd be screwed if I had to build any character from memory.
No, they would have had references.
They would have, like you said, Henry, they would have had to start with the poster reference. And then I guarantee toilet break, lunch break, overnight, mate, they're watching Disney. They're watching, they're going hard into getting more references. Because you got to remember, it was I can't remember how many hours it was, but it was 10 hours, I think. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been.
Moana, they had the mini doll to go off.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Like, that's a car. He built that quick and pretty bloody close to movie good. So how quick did he build it?
Just needed flames.
Just needed flames, my man. Henry, I think I got a message for you on from last night on Reddit. I got a direct message for Henry here. A question for Henry. Why, this is the Taco Man on Reddit, why did no one, apart from Scotty and Owen, put more of a hook shape on their conveyor belts? Whenever I saw people struggling, like you, I noticed that I added that, by the way. I just noticed there's little stubby ends on the part of the conveyor belt that pick up the ball. Is there a reason why you can't just slap a curved Technic piece on the end to make it pick up easier?
That 45 piece rather than a full curve.
Which part are you referring to?
So, on all your conveyor belts, you pretty much had Technic pins with like a ball or whatever to pick up the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying, why didn't anybody use Technic beams or curved beams out of the conveyor belt? Like how Scotty and Owen did.
Yeah, like a piece like that as opposed to...
Oh, yeah. Not sure. I think it's just the natural inclination to go with what you think fits naturally. And to be honest, I don't think my problem is just my problem in general wasn't the hooks part. It was the picking up, the actual picking up. It had no problem picking it up. It was just the saddle where the ball lay. That's where I stuffed up.
Here's a question for you, Rowan, in the chat. Being a expert on GBCs, how would have you went using pinball? Because I could imagine being a GBC builder, like I think you said last night, Henry, they have their tricks. They know how it's going to fall, when it's going to fall, the weight, the size, the weight, split the angles and the sizes. It's a brick high by 2 bricks, whatever. Rowan, how would have you went with a ping pong ball? Do you know what I mean?
Change the whole dynamic.
And Rowan also has something for you, Henry. A shame your golfer didn't swing the golf club. Hey, that would have been a little added cool feature, I guess.
Oh man, there's heaps of stuff that woulda, shoulda, coulda, man.
Time.
Like it's hard.
Time.
It's just time. It's just time. And it's when you do it something for the first time, it always chews more time than if you've done it before, right? Like I'm sure if there was and the funny thing was Ryan was probably the most experienced with GBC, right? And you can tell his mechanism was clearly very authentic to that GBC sort of, that sort of GBC universe. Whereas, Gus and Davids was just raw steroids. Like that was awesome. Yeah.
Ron said he might have done a truck going back and forth and dumping it. Oh yeah, that kind of it's pretty cool, I guess. That would have worked half all right.
It would have worked well.
I find it funny too that tonight the Disney build as a theme was cool and the whole overall thing was cool, but it's almost like here's a slower, smaller challenge / episode, like a reset almost. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing grand scale. It wasn't elimination. It was almost like a filler.
It was very character heavy, right? Like it was a very character driven build, right? Like if you could build characters, you're killing it. If you can't, you would have struggled.
It feels like there's something missing too when you don't. They build something and then Brickman judges it, and then they go and watch it move or blow it up or throw it off or whatever. And when you don't have that extra step, it feels like you've missed a bit of the episode.
And Bruce just said there, Disney ad. Helena said tonight's episode feels like corporate episode. And Josh wants a Marvel one. I get it. But these kind of the Disney, the theme that doesn't have much gumption, I guess you could call it, feels, it's a filler. It's like, why'd you fill that in there? Why? This could have been a perfect season 1 to 4 theme build almost. But then Henry, like you said, maybe they were pushing the fact that they really wanted people to go hard on characters too. That kind of works, I guess.
It'd all be promotion. No. You've got some Disney sets coming out. You've got another range of Disney CMF minifigs coming out. It'll all be just subtle promotion.
Yeah, and it works. Good on him. It worked. And you know what? I actually found really cool, and I kind of giggled at it a bit that Mickey talked. I liked that bit of touch, weird quirkiness to it. As cheesy it was, I did. Yeah. Bruce, for sure. Feel good episode for the kids. Hands down, it was.
There's a question in the chat. It says, is it obvious when it's not an elimination? Yeah, it is. It is. Because if you notice, every elimination is a 2-parter. So in the roller coaster one, we had to build the cart. And then it's the thing. And then in this one, it was the rocket. And
the ping pong ball was space.
Yeah. So it's pretty obvious.
Maybe finally the internet's cancelled him. Yay, everybody, let's celebrate. Oh shit. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. I celebrated too early.
Oh man.
I think the internet farted.
Yeah, and you can tell by the tone in the room too, right? The producers, you got to lay a lot of track for someone to go home, right? Like you guys see like a snippet of the story when someone's about to go home, right? Like, you got to lay a lot of track. So you get box seat heaps, like, so when you're like going home as well, man. Like on that the GBC episode, I knew I had a good feeling that it wasn't a good feeling, but I had a feeling that I was going home long before the Brickman's judging.
Just by like comments and the way the cameras.
Yeah, just you get hit with voxies nonstop. How you feeling? What's this? Blah blah blah, and you're just like, you can just feel it, right? Because if you're going well,
voxied, is that like roofied?
It feels the same. But like, if you're middle of the pack, you won't hear from the producers, right? Nobody's talking to you. But if you're winning, you'll be voxied heaps, right? Sorry, a Voxy is like, for those of you who don't know, is a Vox Pop. So that's the stuff when you see us talking at the table going, so right now, this is how I'm feeling, blah, blah, blah. That's a Voxy, right?
The producers, they load you with a question to answer back.
Yeah, and they'll say, hey, Bilsy, how you feeling about, that poster behind you? Is it intimidating or blah, blah, blah? Like, they'll just say stuff like that. And then you'll start
loaded
talking.
Questions, literally loaded questions.
Yeah. So once you start getting heaps of those in the negative tone, it's not a good feeling because you know that, I'm probably going home.
Henry, you're building with green. The last time someone got eliminated with this much green square brick was David and G. How do you feel about that?
Claire, to answer, Claire's got a good question. Do you leave for home straight away? Yeah, pretty much. But what happens is the minute you get eliminated, you get like whisked away, right? And you sort of like just put into that interview room with the backdrop behind you straight away, so that the emotion that you're feeling is raw, right? Because usually if you're doing like those interviews, so all those interviews that you see where it's you and your partner in that different room, that's all on a different day, right? You're talking about it in the past tense, in the present tense, but it's
present tense
already, but it's already happened, right? When you're the winner or the loser, it happens straight away. Just because if you're the winner, you're all pumped up and you're really excited. If you're the losing team, they want that emotion to be really, really fresh and raw. Yeah, and if you've been crying or if you're having a sook, whatever, it'll come across in that interview. Yeah.
And then you have the psychiatrist talk, and then all right, there's the gate.
Because man, because that's the thing, right? You might feel vulnerable and you'll be pissed. Like if you're like, it takes a lot of restraint to be able to compose yourself and talk in that context, because you might I'll be honest, like it feels terrible, right? It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, no one likes being eliminated.
Yeah, man, and like Bilsy, you'll attest for it as well, right? Like you want to unleash, and you're just like, you can just go, and it'll just be like it's too easy to just grab everything. So
can I show? I've got a video that I want to show of. There was you chatting in one of these interviews that it doesn't feel like you're talking about. Let's just play this clip and people in the chat, you tell me what you think. What?
I'm nervous now. What are you going to show?
It's the one I sent you today.
Let's just play it, and I'm going to cut it at the right time, and then we can all try to think. And I apologize for the size of the screen, but let me, tell me where I'm going with this chat, people. Ready? Here we go.
It's really hard, and I can imagine it would have been so hard for him.
I really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
To send,
What are you talking about, man? It's really hard. It's just really hard. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to send. It's like, what? Where's this chat going, mate? Like, what?
Oh man, there was a couple of takes on those things there. That part there, it was pretty funny.
I'm going to leave that one out there, especially the way we chat, how politically correct we are. We're leaving that one in like that. I love that. That one's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. People in the chat, tell me, did they show tonight what's on tomorrow night's episode? Now, me, Henry, and Bilsy have seen it in our media release film, but I'm not sure if they showed tomorrow night's episode. Did they show what it is? Did they say what it is? Rowan, another explosion one. Oh, okay, blowing up, exploding sets. So I talked to Bill even before you jumped on this afternoon, Henry. The tomorrow's explosions is kind of like we just mentioned before, and this is where I'm getting to it. This Disney episode's kind of felt like a fluff episode, or just the kind of filler, where tomorrow puts it back on track. Like, yes, this is what Grandmasters is. Yes, this is back on track. This is excited. This is a proper, and it's not the explosion. I mean, it's the explosion that sells the episode, but the story and what they got to build to get to that explosion is kind of like awesome.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
And on your conspiracy theory talking about before, probably makes part of coming into the next episode.
Get your tinfoil hat ready, Bilsy.
Mate, I'll double up and shave my head. Feed me with all the government conspiracies.
Do you know what I found funny about tomorrow night's episode? And no spoilers here. What I found funny, no spoilers. With the explosion, if you watch, they wear safety glasses and stand behind a giant perspex screen. Why?
I think because I think the explosions are directed at a direction.
But you're standing behind a giant perspex screen. Is that not like, I don't know.
Yeah, bro, there's a health and safety officer that needs a paycheck too, man. They're just doing their jobs.
Anyway, either way, safety aside, it is a really good explosion episode.
Can I add one thing? Please, if you want a good giggle and a laugh, tomorrow night, every slow motion explosion when they're showing the contestants, please watch Caleb's face. Every single explosion, please watch Caleb's face. They are quality. I'm talking, the dude's going to be an actor. They are that good. Again, Disney episode done and dusted. I promise, and I'm sure that we probably will never talk about this episode again. It's definitely a forgettable one. Tomorrow's episode, though, definitely makes up for it. And even better, we have David from Team David and Gus. They will chat. He will chat with us. Gus is in Denmark at the moment. He's holidaying. He's moving. He's doing all this kind of stuff. We can't catch him right now, so we'll have Dave, but that'll make up for everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Another amazing, big numbers on the live stream tonight, and I apologize if I did miss people in the chat. We do try our best because, you got to realize, and as with you guys as well that are watching, it's Lego Masters. All three of us get excited. We're always talking over each other. It's just the way it is, and we forget about the chat sometimes. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be awesome. Dave will be here, and we know he loves the chat. And of course, Henry and Bills are again with myself. We'll be back tomorrow night straight after the end of the episode. So we'll see you back then.
Thanks,
see you guys.